Not you.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you opening the door.
Yeah,
I got
What
some
a rebel.
airflow in here. This is good. Love it.
Now, I can't go any further without addressing the elephant in the room. So, as you know, I do not listen to Green Bay game night after games until I'm on it. Sometimes I'm able to catch some, but like we were driving home from Aunt Cindy's yesterday. I had the LaFleur and Love press conferences streaming through my Apple CarPlay. Paula and the girls did not really enjoy having that instead of Christmas music, but I needed to get home. I had to transcribe my portion of those press conferences, and I had to work. So, we're driving home. I don't catch any of Green Bay game day.
Okay.
I get done with my transcription. I'm writing my 3 stories for channel3000.com from after the game, and I scroll through a little bit of Twitter. I've done my hit on Green Bay game day, and lo and behold, what do I find? I find a clip of Old T. Now, again, I love Old T. I am not one of his brothers. If I was, I'd have been excommunicated for criticizing the movie headlines. So we are not brothers. But I've known him a very long time. We are now in our 10th season of Wilde Tausch.
Okay.
And we are now saying the exact same thing even when we're not together. Like there are instances on this show where you and I will say the same thing, and I'll say it right before you do, or vice versa, as you like to say. I said to Homer, and I used in my game story, that Matt LaFleur out Dan Campbelled Dan Campbell. And you know who else said that? Oh, boy.
I tweeted it right after the game ended. So.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
And by the way, that it wasn't like that was some. I also saw other people say it because that's what happened. Like if you're a ball knower and you see what's happening,
yeah, but I'm not.
That is what happened
yesterday. You're the ball knower.
No,
I'm just some
you're
guy.
You're a ball observer. You're a ball observer. You're a ball watcher, is what you are.
I observed some ball yesterday too.
I bet you did.
It's borderline inappropriate.
No, well. If your mind wants to go to a gutter, yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to take you there. But yesterday, I saw a stat on Get Up this morning. That game yesterday was razor's edge. Yeah, thank you to all those guys for working too. It's a Black Friday. I don't know when it became Christmas, but whatever. Anyways, the games, the stats, first downs, rush yards, pass yards, everything was about even Steven yesterday. Almost everything. Go ahead and look. Packers-Lions game yesterday couldn't have been more razor's edge close.
Mm-hmm.
What wasn't? Danny Campbell 0 for 4, G&G 3 for 3. 4th down. There's your difference. Dan Campbell has lived it. Matt LaFleur changed his approach because he thought it ain't fair for our defense to have to make 4 stops and then their defense doesn't. So we got to balance this. Even though I completely disagreed with what he did at the end of the game, I thought it was dumb. It worked. It worked. So kudos to Matt. And this is a results business. Oh, it's cute that you're process-driven. Yeah, that's how you should approach it. But you're judged on the results, and the results worked. But if he gets sacked, or if he throws an incompletion, and Dan Campbell takes it from the 45 instead of the 15, and goes down and scores and goes for 2, how do you think today's show would be? Do you think we'd all be sitting here saying, LaFleur's an idiot? Of course we would. So, to the victor go the spoils. I loved the approach other than the last one. I thought it was fine. And Matt LaFleur, he out-Campbelled them, and we out-Detroited Detroit. All of the things that you want to say, that's how the game played out. And for this team to have the resiliency and to fight through and to be able to beat, that was a playoff game yesterday. That's what playoff games look like. I wasn't there, but I'm guessing the atmosphere was playoff-esque. And you took the big bad bullies of the North and you just said, hey, scramble, and if you're lucky, you might get in as a 7 seed, but you ain't doing nothing in the North no more. That's what yesterday was about.
There's no denying any of what you just said there. My question now becomes, and you said it's cute that you're process-driven. Matt LaFleur, during the abbreviated week, Jordan Love said yesterday, he talked incessantly about being aggressive, and you have to be aggressive against these guys. So the results work. It turns out to be the right decision only because it worked. So are you looking at Matt LaFleur, and this is kind of the overarching question I want to ask people today, in addition to your positives and negatives, are you looking at Matt LaFleur any differently than you were 5 days ago? Because it feels to me, and again, I don't feel the need to carry his water for him. I just think that there has been a level of vitriol and negativity toward him that is a little excessive. A lot of people who are apparently very miserable when it comes to the Packers, because even when they win, they're not happy. Really don't want him as the coach.
How could anybody yesterday be miserable?
It's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. Okay. I don't understand it. But the bottom line is that did Matt LaFleur, to your point, did he just get his groove back, or was he an idiot previously and now he's finally figured it out?
Well, anybody that thought he was an idiot against the Vikings, I can't help you, because he wasn't an idiot. And I tried to specify and explain why I felt like he wasn't an idiot. And if you want to act like he was an idiot, takes one, right? Takes one. So that part of it. Now, has there been the Cleveland Browns game I thought was really poor? There's times that this team at home doesn't come out with the edge that you're looking for, and maybe not doing certain things. But this is part of a season. Matt LaFleur rose up, and the biggest critique that you have of Matt LaFleur is that he hasn't risen to the level of the big games. I thought for the last couple of seasons his emotions got the better of him in certain things. Yesterday he used his emotions to get that timeout. He didn't call no timeout, man. Everybody knew it. And he saw that the false start, and then he went and bulldogged that official into getting it. Kudos to you, Matt. But don't act like you tried to do that beforehand. That's baloney, and we know it. But it just was a day he rose up, and he took it to the big bad bullies. I just always remember when Dan Campbell talking about drowning people and suffocating people and basically saying we're tougher than you. Yesterday they weren't. Yesterday Green Bay was tougher than the Detroit Lions, because that toughness comes out when you have the big plays and the big moments. Green Bay made them. Detroit didn't. Our big-time players did. Their big-time wideout dropped one. That's how this world works. Now, that doesn't mean I still respect the heck out of Detroit, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that is a good football team. I just don't think – I think they're going to have to scramble to get in. I think they're going to be very fortunate if they can get in as a 6 or a 7 seed. That's how I see it.
6-7. So I guess the question I was driving at is, did he do that much better of a job, or did they just execute on his gutsy plays? Like, I got Josh DiMaggio still in my ear. Well, they could have used this game plan against the Eagles. Well,
he's in your ear?
Well, in my text messages.
Oh.
I just
crossed your desk.
It did. It came across my desk. So the problem is, you can say all you want about being process-driven, but your process can be right, and if the execution sucks, you lose that game yesterday. That's great that you went for it on all 3 of those 4th downs, and you netted 2 touchdowns and the game clinching completion. But that's because your players did the job. They got it done. And in other games, they haven't. No?
Well, no, it is. So the thing is, you have to understand, and this is what I was saying after the Minnesota game, you have to understand what game you need to play. Not everything is the same. And LaFleur said that in his postgame. You have to understand, what do you need to do to win? Sometimes you can get by being a little more conservative. Other times, you have to match fire with fire. That's what yesterday was. That was a fire hose contest yesterday, and we beat them. We beat them big time because we went for it and we executed. They didn't. Their apartment, I'm not going to go down that road. They ended up in a bad spot. So
driving into a
that
wall.
Doesn't mean the next time they go and do this, it's just, what was the game good that he went for it on 4th and 8 instead of kicking the field goal? He kicks the field goal.
Carolina.
Campbell did the same thing because, that's what I do. Well, take the points. Who knows, right? Like, you don't know how all of those little things change the complexion of a game. What I do know is when you go for it and you don't execute it, the pendulum of momentum swings, and that also doesn't get factored in to all the stuff. And Green Bay won that battle handily yesterday, and that's why we're sitting here talking about this team being a Super Bowl contender and the Lions scrambling to try and find a spot in the playoffs.
That you're 100% right. So do you think that he was not enough all gas, no brakes in, say, a 10-7 loss to the Eagles?
Yes. Way too conservative. The fact that Quinyon Mitchell was covering our guy on the first read all the time made me think he was way too predictable. He had a good bead on what Detroit was doing yesterday on defense. LaFleur was in
They play
old
man
boy's
coverage
bag
all the time. Yeah. I think the style of defense that they play.
Listen, it was a great day for Matt LaFleur, and for everybody that hates Matt LaFleur, it was a bad day. And there are a lot of Packer fans that don't like Matt LaFleur.